We're diving into something pretty captivating today. We're going to be taking a look at Lucky, Marissa Stapley's novel. I mean, talk about complicated.
Right, a world built on deception, but there's this longing for something more. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and Stapley really captures this constant push and pull in her life, this desire for real connection, but then the life she leads.
Yeah.
It just makes you think, is she really in control, or is this just like her circumstance?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Right from the beginning, her story kind of sets the stage for this life, you know. Abandoned as a baby, St. Monica's Parish in Queens.
Yeah.
Then raised by John, who claims to have saved her, but he's a con man. What do you think about that kind of upbringing?
I mean, just imagine being raised by someone who thinks manipulation is just like how you survive. It's going to have a huge impact on how you see the world, your moral compass, everything. Think about that scene where he convinces young Lucky she has these special powers.
Oh, yeah, after scaring away the lynx.
Yeah, I mean, it's manipulation 101.
Total manipulation. And it's not just telling her, it's like he's orchestrating a whole experience to prove it.
Exactly, and that's why she grows up believing she's exceptional. This idea of luck, he plants that seed, and it becomes the justification for everything she does. You can see it even in her early cons.
Oh, yeah, like forging that baptismal certificate. So clever for a kid. But it also shows that desperation.
It's really interesting how her cons evolve, from those small-time ones like that watermelon drop to those high-stakes poker game. It's like she's testing those limits.
Of her luck.
Yeah, and her ability to just deceive.
Each con, though, it seems like more planning, more intricate lies. Do you think over time she becomes desensitized to it all?
You know, I think each one, regardless of how big or small, it leaves a mark on her. Maybe not something we can see, but it's like chipping away at her conscience.
Yeah.
Even when she wins big, there's this like unease. It's like she knows it's all built on lies.
That's a good point. It's like a hollow victory. Then, of course, there's the irony of winning the lottery while she's on the run. On the one hand, it's like, see, I am lucky. But then it also traps her further.
Oh, absolutely. That's where the burden of that luck really hits. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. She relies on it, it makes her decisions, and then it pushes away any chance of a normal life.
It's almost like she's blessed and cursed.
Exactly.
Thinking about her other relationships, like with her father, it's so complicated. He's her mentor, but he's also the source of so much pain.
It's all about manipulation with them. He teaches her the art of the con, but he also makes her terrified of being vulnerable.
Classic nature versus nurture.
Right. How much of who she is comes from him, you know?
Yeah. It's like he shows her the power of deception, but also how destructive it is.
Exactly. And then there's Steph.
Oh, yeah.
That brief friendship.
Like a glimpse into a normal life.
Yeah, but even that gets messed up by lies and betrayal.
It's so tragic. You can see how much she wants real connection.
She does.
But then she sabotages it every time. Is it fear of being vulnerable? Or is it more about control?
Probably both. You have to think, abandoned baby, raised in this world of cons, trust and vulnerability, that's probably like a foreign language to her.
Yeah.
Deception is like her shield. It protects her from getting hurt again.
And then, of course, there's Carrie, another con artist. Sweeps her off her feet until it all goes wrong.
Of course, Carrie is everything she thinks she wants. The love, excitement, money. But he's the ultimate con man. He preys on her.
And she's left dealing with it all.
Right. Alone.
So she has to become Bonnie Skinner, hiding from the law. It makes you wonder, can someone who's built their life on deception ever find redemption?
I mean, that's the big question, right? What makes her story so compelling is that she's always searching for that, even when she's sinking deeper into the world of cons.
That desire for something real, it makes you root for her, even when you don't agree with what she does.
Absolutely.
It's that internal struggle that makes her so interesting.
Exactly. Who she is versus who she wants to be.
So we've seen how Lucky's upbringing, those early experiences, really shaped her.
Oh, yeah.
Now let's look at her search for identity, belonging.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts with finding her mom. You remember Gloria, the one she thought abandoned her.
Oh, that whole storyline. It's wild. First, finding out she wasn't actually abandoned. Talk about shattering how she sees her own story. And then Gloria, she's a hardcore con artist herself, proposing they team up. It's like destiny pulling Lucky back in.
Back into the only world she knows. It's like she can't escape it, even when she tries. And that lottery ticket, it's always there.
Oh, for sure. It's this symbol of freedom and being trapped at the same time. If she cashes it, she's exposed, could get arrested. but holding on. It's like this weight, a reminder of what she could have.
She tries to distance herself from it, hiding it, that storage locker with the code. But of course, things go wrong.
Yeah, always. It's like she's trying to be smarter than fate.
Outsmart fate.
But fate's always a step ahead. Then Gloria steals the ticket. That's devastating.
Especially after Carrie, too. It's like she's lost everything. Her partner, her security, that chance at a clean slate.
She's facing the music, you know, her whole life built on lies. It's falling apart. This is a turning point for her, for sure.
And in all this, she reaches out to Reyes. Remember him, John's old associate.
Yeah. He's interesting, isn't he? This unexpected ally.
He is. He got away from John, built a stable life.
Yeah, he shows that. But she's still wrestling with all that's happened, the lies, the betrayals. It all leads to that confrontation with John where she finally tells him how much he hurt her.
That scene's so raw, so emotional. She's not that naive kid anymore, buying into his stories. She's a woman who's been deeply hurt.
For sure. And his reaction, it's almost worse. He doesn't even care about her pain. He just wants that lottery ticket back.
It shows how messed up he is, right?
Oh, yeah. No empathy at all.
He represents that dark side of her, doesn't he?
He does.
That part of her that wants easy money, quick fixes. But by now, she's starting to see those solutions, they just lead to more problems.
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle. But even though she sees how toxic he is, they still come up with this plan to get the ticket back from Gloria.
Crazy scheme. Faking a theft, that motel.
It shows you how destructive their bond is, you know? He can't face the consequences, so he drags her right back into that world of deception, and she's trying so hard to get out.
It's like, just when you think it can't get crazier, Gloria drops the bomb. She's not even Lucky's mother, and she lost the ticket.
To some other woman after being run off the road. What a wild goose chase.
This is where Lucky hits rock bottom, right? Everything's gone. Her family, the guy, her chance at a new life. And the ticket, poof. It's like facing the truth. This life she's been chasing, maybe it's all been an illusion.
Yeah, it's a huge realization for her. Who does she want to be? Does she give in to the past or find a new way? One based on honesty, real connection? It's a big moment.
We also have Sister Margaret Jean's story happening, right? Haunted by her choice to let John take Lucky all those years ago.
Yeah, and trying to fix it. Helping Valerie, that young woman, like a second chance righting a wrong.
Yeah, she sees that. It reminds you how our choices ripple out.
Absolutely.
Sister Margaret Jean's decision, out of fear, good intentions maybe, it's had these huge consequences for Lucky and Valerie.
It makes you think how much weight our choices have, how they affect others, years later even.
And then boom, Valerie sees Lucky on the news. The daughter she thought was lost forever. Talk about fate stepping in.
Right. It's this glimmer of hope, you know, like maybe there's a chance for healing, for them to come together again.
Their reunion, so emotional. The joy, the lost time. Valerie never stops searching. She regrets giving her up.
It's powerful, right? Family bonds, how strong that can be, even with all that's happened. Love and forgiveness, even after so long. But then there's Carrie. He's alive, reaching out, saying he's changed.
Can someone like that really change?
Good question, right?
Yeah.
Is he trying to pull her back in?
He wants her to meet him in the Bahamas, promises to explain everything. But after everything, how can she trust him?
It's a tough one. Wanting love, wanting things to be okay, but also being afraid to make the same mistakes again. Understandable, right?
She decides to go. She has to confront him, get answers. She's taking control of her own story.
Good for her.
Even if it means facing some hard truths.
It's brave, for sure. She's come a long way, not just reacting anymore. She's making things happen.
And she has Valerie now, a mother who gets it, who supports her. It's like the healing power of family.
Yeah, that someone's there for you, it makes all the difference. We don't have to go through tough stuff alone.
But the question is, what's waiting for her in the Bahamas?
Huh.
Will she find some peace? Or is she going right back into Carrie's world? But she just wants to be loved, to be accepted.
Totally. It's that conflict that makes her so relatable, even when she's doing things that, you know, are kind of morally it's her upbringing, for sure, but she still makes her own choices. And as we read, we see her struggling with that, questioning her path.
Trying to break free.
Yeah, like, how do I reconcile who I was with who I want to be?
And this brings us back to Sister Margaret Jean, because their stories are so similar. It's like she's carrying the weight of what she did, trying to find redemption.
Absolutely. Helping others, like it's making up for letting John take Lucky. Valerie is her second chance to right that wrong.
And then it's actually Sister Margaret Jean, without realizing it, who brings Lucky and Valerie together at the diner. That's what sets up their reunion.
Talk about fate. But it's this beautiful thing, you know, past mistakes leading to kindness that changes their lives.
Yeah, it shows how connected we all are.
It really does.
Even small actions, they have this ripple effect. But now things get really interesting. The plan to confront Priscilla, get the lottery ticket back, the stakes are so high.
Oh, yeah. It's risky, for sure. Valerie's behind it all, trying to help Lucky get back what was stolen. It shows you how far a mother will go to protect her kid, even going into this dangerous world.
They use Carrie, right? Knowing Priscilla wants to find him, so Lucky calls her, pretends to know where he is, lures her to this fancy restaurant.
Talk about a showdown. Two master manipulators going head-to-head. Who's going to outsmart who?
And with Valerie's help, Lucky gets Priscilla to admit it. She hired someone to hurt Carrie, and that he was laundering money for her this whole time. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, it shows you just how deep Priscilla is in all this.
It also shows how much danger Lucky's in.
Oh, for sure. Priscilla, she's ruthless. She'll do whatever it takes to protect herself.
But Lucky doesn't back down. She demands the ticket, said she'll expose everything if Priscilla doesn't give it to her.
It's like she's finally taking her power back.
Right. She's not that scared girl anymore, controlled by John or Carrie. This is her standing up, demanding justice.
Taking control, and what happens?
Priscilla gives her the ticket, just like that. It's like she's won, she can finally escape her past, start over, but there's this feeling like, is it too easy?
Yeah, Priscilla doesn't seem like the type to just give up.
Right. And as Lucky's leaving, she has this weird moment with a homeless woman asking for change. It's like a reality check. Things can change so fast, that precariousness, it's still there.
That image, right? Hope can be so fragile, and the darkness, it's always lurking. Even when things are good, life can surprise you.
So the book ends with, Lucky, she has the winning ticket.
Wow.
But the future, it's still uncertain. She's with her mother, but their relationship, it's new, right? She's free from John and Carrie, but their actions, they still have this impact.
It's like a reminder, the past is always there, but we get to decide how it shapes us.
A chance for a fresh start, but knowing the past is part of who she is.
Bittersweet. Hopeful and uncertain all at once.
It makes you think, doesn't it? About life, the choices we make.
Yeah, it really does. And that's what makes Lucky so captivating, I think. She's flawed, complicated, but real. Her story reminds us that life throws curveballs. Even the lucky ones have to fight for what they want.
Totally. Well, there you have it. Our deep dive into Lucky's life. The con artist, but with this good heart. A master of deception, but also kind of a victim.
Yeah, she is. Her journey, it's about resilience, family, hope, even when things are rough. Hopefully this gives you some insight into who she is, what made her that way, and maybe even got you thinking about your own choices, your own journey. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring.